We have an update on U.S. Department of Justice cuts to Oregon programs for crime victims and teen gun violence prevention.
KGW investigative reporter Evan Watson first brought us this story, you may remember, on Friday. And since then, he kept digging and uncovered that most of these cuts won't save taxpayers any money at all. Evan joins us now in studio to explain.
Yeah, when you look at these cuts, hundreds of these programs are now on hold. And what that means is that they're half finished a lot of the times. Like the programs, the grants started, but they didn't get completed here. And our analysis of this shows a common thread. These grants serve minority and disadvantaged communities. I talked with a former federal appointee who explains exactly where this cut money will go.
The U.S. Department of Justice cut hundreds of grant programs nationwide, many focused on preventing gun violence and supporting crime victims. Among the cuts, an Oregon program to improve legal services for disabled crime victims. Rihanna Hensley helped craft the training that's now shelved without funding.
We matter, and just because you may see us as lacking some kind of disability doesn't mean we lack the right to justice.
The Trump administration said the grants no longer effectuate agency priorities, the latest slash to government services. Christina Rose, the former director of the Office for Victims of Crime within the Department of Justice, says these cuts just don't make sense.
When this is used as an example of cutting government funds and being a benefit for taxpayers, that really couldn't be further from the truth.
Rose, a Biden administration appointee, oversaw these grant programs until this year. She says about 80% of these now cut grants were awarded through the Crime Victims Fund, a pot made up of fines and penalties from federal criminal convictions, not taxpayer dollars. With these programs now halted, that money goes right back into the CVF to wait for another grant proposal down the line. Any community benefits are delayed for years.
Cutting off programs mid-grant is probably one of the most inefficient ways you could manage government money.
If the cuts are inefficient and if they don't save taxpayers any money, why make them? Rose sees a common thread between the halted programs, evident in the project descriptions. Many reference communities of color, disproportionate impacts of violence, and equitable outcomes for crime victims and young people. In other terms, keywords for diversity, equity, and inclusion, a stated target of the Trump administration.
You can't make believe these communities don't exist by taking out grants because of a certain word in the title of the grant. When you erase those words, you're really erasing the truth about victimization in this country.
Rihanna Hensley hopes the administration restores funding for disabled crime victims in Oregon.
We have a much higher chance to not only be victims of crime, but be victims of violent crime.
It is normal for new federal grant requests to be canceled with a new administration coming on board. But Rose told me that she's never seen grants eliminated midstream, which makes these cuts so jarring to her. Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee are reviewing the funding freeze with a May 19th deadline for the DOJ to provide more information. Guys.
Evan, thanks very much for following up.